So it's a nice relaxing Saturday. I got my whiskey here. And I wanted to share with you guys my favorite bike riding gloves under $50. These are actually under $25, but I couldn't find any bike gloves that are comparable in the, I guess, under $50 range. Or even above that, but definitely under $50. So I'm going to go through these. There's a bit of a catch. These are not made for bike riding, but I'll get to that later on. Before I get too far into the video, make sure to like, subscribe. I do a lot of gravel biking, dual sport riding, truck related overlanding things, shooting. I'm doing some prepping type stuff. If you're into any of those things, subscribe. I'm here in the Northwest, so if you're interested in the Northwest as well. Just before I start the video, I wanted to call it out, so I could really use the support. So make sure to subscribe, and I'll get into the video now. I've never been much of a glove person or even helmet person. I got a lot of comments in my older gravel riding, gravel bike videos about how I need to start wearing a helmet and gloves, especially if I'm going to be riding dirt or gravel. I started wearing a helmet. That was a really bad habit that I've for the most part gotten past. And I've also started wearing gloves. I used to only wear gloves if it was really freezing and my hands got numb, but I wear these almost like whenever it's under 70 degrees. I need to find probably some summer gloves, but I don't have to worry about that for a couple more months. I tried a handful of different gloves. For the most part, you couldn't feel well enough with them. They were too bulky. They just didn't fit right. They didn't breathe enough, or they were too hot. And a lot of the biking specific gloves were felt really cheap, and I didn't expect them to last just based on trying them on in the store, or even there's a couple pair I bought as well. I think the problem is a lot of like biking related stuff kind of has a bike tax. Bike riders aren't afraid to spend like hundreds of dollars on a thing like a seat or just general bike parts or biking specific clothing. And I really didn't want to spend like $100 on some bike gloves. So I started looking at kind of other gloves for other things. And I'm kind of familiar with the Mechanix just because these gloves are pretty popular within the shooting community. Shooting gloves need to be pretty tough. They need to be breathable because a lot of people don't use these year round, so they use these in the summer and other times. They also need to be, need to have good dexterity, so you need to be able to feel the small controls on a gun. That's why I have a gun here. I probably wonder why I have a gun for a bike video. This is unloaded, but guns have very small controls, so like the slide release, the magazine release, the trigger. You need to be able to feel these well enough through a glove. So I figured if it was good enough for that type of use, it should be good enough for bike riding. So I found these. These are the Mechanix. Let me see the exact name. These are the Mechanix original Covert tactical gloves. I'll put a link in the description. I'm not sponsored. Nobody's sponsoring somebody that gets dozens of views on their videos, so don't worry about that. And I'm not using affiliate links or anything. I'm not making any money off this. I just really like these gloves. So these gloves are $20. You can find these at your local retailers. Like I've seen these at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, just other or home improvement stores. So if you can, get into the store and try them on so you can make sure that you can get the right size and something that fits snug. That's one of the things that sold me on them, is because I could try them on before I bought them. I didn't have to order them online, and I didn't have to drive super far away to find these. I would avoid buying these from Amazon. Before I got into my current job, I worked for a major Hollywood studio in the counterfeit and piracy department. And there's a ton of counterfeits within this price range and for these type of products. When you see someone, like when you're reading reviews on Amazon and you see like the reviewers sound like they're talking about different products, it's likely that some of the reviewers are giving bad reviews or talking about counterfeit products. So like it's a big problem, and there's no way you can guarantee that you're going to get a real product if you buy from Amazon. So yeah, anyways, you can buy these directly from Mechanix, or you can head down to your local like car parts store or home improvement store, and you could probably find these. Anyway, so I've had these for about 3 or 4 months. I've ridden about 500 miles with them. And overall, they've been great. I don't really have any complaints, and when these wear out, I probably will buy another pair for bike riding. The back is this breathable mesh material, and the front is the front fingers and the palm is a synthetic leather. I checked their website. I don't think it's there is any animal products or anything like that. So if you care about having real leather on your stuff, yeah, you're probably fine with these. These should work if you're vegan or have other issues with that. What's great about this is it works with touchscreens. So you can see here, it has no problem working my phone. The whole entire thing is touchscreen, so it's not just one finger. Like a lot of gloves will have just like a small patch on the end of the index finger. It also works on touchpads like this on a computer, though I don't do that. But primarily for me, when I'm bike riding, I like to operate my Apple Watch. So I like to change songs, check the workout stuff, or maybe even just like quickly dismiss notifications. So these work great with that. I don't sweat much in them, and like I mentioned before, they're thin enough where you can feel all the controls. So I have no problem shifting or operating the shifters with these, and they feel great. You really need to try these. Like, just give them a shot. At $20, you don't have much to lose. So if you're looking for some biking gloves, just try them out. Feel free to ask me questions. But I mean, they're gloves. I don't know how much I can talk about them. They fit with multiple different bar styles. I've tried these on flat bars. I have some, I forgot what they're called, but the ones that kind of bend down under. I also have some, I think they're bullhorn, the ones that just bend up. So like my fixed gear, my gravel bike, and I have like an old hybrid that I use these on. And they've been great for all those. So I don't think there's a bar type that these won't work well for. So yeah, that's kind of the end of the bike portion of this review. I just want to do something quick just to bring some awareness to these gloves, because I think these would work well for a lot of people, especially people that don't want to put down 100 plus on biking specific gloves. So the rest of the video, I'm going to go into the other uses I have for these, because I use these for almost everything. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, these are great shooting gloves. This gun's unloaded. A lot of gloves, they're a little bit too big and you have a hard time fitting them in the finger holes, especially for smaller guns like this Glock 43. This fits fine. You can feel the trigger. You can also, they have enough feeling through the material that you can really feel the fine movements within the trigger, and you feel the exact break when pulling that. And you can operate this little tiny slide release. I brought the Glock 43 because it's the smallest gun I have, and I think if it works for this, it's going to work for larger guns with the larger controls. So that's guns. These are also great dog walking gloves. I know that sounds weird, but I have a lot of gloves where I've had issues with them. Part of the reason is I treat my dog a lot when we go on walks. So I give her really tiny treats, and bigger gloves, you really couldn't feel the small treats, and we'd end up dropping them, or I couldn't pick them up out of my pocket, or I couldn't even get the gloves into my pocket. So these have been great for dog walking, and it's great that I can use my phone while I'm on a walk with her. I have a saw here. I don't really know how to demonstrate here for you how these are great for like hand tools, but I've used these for like when we went to go cut down our Christmas tree, and with axes and things like that. I've also used it with power tools. I know I shouldn't do that. That's a kind of a fiercely debated thing, and for the most part, I tried to avoid it. But if it's too cold outside and I'm using power tools, I do use these sometimes. I am aware of it though, but a lot of people advise against it because gloves can very easily get caught in rotating machinery and machinery in general. So it's kind of risky to use with power tools and things like saws and drills. But so that's just FYI. But I do it sometimes, so I'm not perfect in that aspect. I also use these for the trailer. I just throw them in the truck if we're towing, and they're just great to use with while hooking up and unhooking the truck, so I don't get oil and grease and stuff like that on my hands. But that's pretty much all I gotta say about these gloves. I'll include a link. Make sure to like, subscribe. I could really use some more subscribers. Maybe I can get a sponsor. Mechanix. If you want to send me some free gloves, that'd be great. But that's all I have today. Thanks for watching, and have a nice relaxing weekend.